In this episode, we're going to be building a Cub Cadet clutch press. So the Cub Cadet narrow frame, wide frame, any of your gear drive Cubs have a clutch setup just like this. It's basically just like a car. This one's actually a double disc. But they have this big spring right here, and then this roll pin holds it all together. So what we need to do is we need to make a press that will push that down, push the spring down so we can drive the roll pin out, take the spring off, then we can take the throw out bearing and the clutch arm and everything off, and then we can get up into the pressure plates and the clutch disc. For that tractor and my Deere, I bought brand new clutches so I don't have to do this, but I have a 10 horse that is in need of a clutch upgrade, so figure we're going to build a press to do that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to put that guy like that, then we got this big we'll weld that nut to it, and we'll have this piece of all thread here, and then we'll weld a nut on the end out there. We'll probably shorten this because we don't need to use it all. Then you'll be able to run that nut in, which will push this in, which this piece here I gotta do a little bit more cutting, but basically this piece will slip over, and then the notch right there will go on either side of that roll pin, and it will push on that. So then, building this out of scrap metal, so bear with me. So that piece will go on like that. This piece will set into that to kind of hold everything, and then this piece right here, which is going to stand up, this is very hard to do with one hand, that piece will be standing up like that with this little dink off the side right there, so be like that. And then the end, which goes into your pilot bearing, bushing, whatever you want to call it, on the Cub Cadet, will fit into, basically it'll fit into that and hold that. So let me get this tacked together, and it'll make a hell of a lot more sense when we can actually see it. That's what we're going for right there. So you can see that little dink there holds the front of the shaft, and then it'll just kind of push up against the front of the pressure plate right there. I still have to notch this, and that'll go over the roll pin, and then this guy back here, and then I'll weld a big nut on the end out there. And that's pretty much what we're going for. I'll probably cut this piece in half because it doesn't need to be that long. The whole thing doesn't need to be as long as it is, but building it out of scrap metal, and I'll be honest, the less I have to cut, the happier I am. So just trying to knock this up quick, but that right there is my Cub Cadet clutch press, and I will probably end up putting a gusset in here. I don't have the material in here for it right now, so I'll probably end up putting a gusset right there because there's quite a bit of pressure. Like the yellow springs are 1,250 pounds. I don't know what the stock ones are. The red ones are 800 pounds, so quite a bit of pressure on it really. So I'll probably end up putting a gusset in here and putting a gusset there. And if it's real, if it's going to be a real pain, I'll get another piece of channel and run another piece of channel across the top. That way she ain't going nowhere, but I'm going to get it finished welded out, and then we'll check out the finished product. Well, there, it's done. My advice, get a piece of all thread and a nut. Make sure that you actually have a 1/2-inch drive socket or whatever you're going to use to drive it. I had to get 3/4 drive out. Got an adapter, not a problem, but basically just put it in there like that, and it's still kind of hot. Not done, or haven't been done with it too long. Run it down till it kind of stops, which I just might have screwed myself a little bit right there because I already tried this. And this roll pin, I just went over it, but should be able to drive that roll pin out, and then should have used a little bit stronger piece of tube right there. That tube's got a little bit of a onto it now, but I'm gonna have to bore out this piece for the front there because that piece is a little upset, and that piece right there is extremely hot still. So we'll just back him up till he's right there. And we gotta fight this out, knock everything off. I mean, nice to have a bench and then not clean it, and then you can't use it. But anyways, I'll have to fight that piece out of there, but take that off. Now you can take all this off. You can take your throwout bearing, which seems to be a pretty common failure point on them because nobody runs the helper spring. And then this is the teaser spring, which shoot into that drive shaft pretty good. And then you can see the tension's off the clutch discs now, which they're really not in terrible shape. I might actually reuse them. But anyways, just a quick video I threw this together quick. It's kind of fabrication day in the shop. So there you go. Cub Cadet clutch press. Thanks for watching.